A small village is under attack by some monsters, and our protagonist, a young boy that has no name, is ordered to take the children to safety by the elders. The villagers pick up their weapons to defend their village against the monsters, and the brave boy takes on the responsibility of taking the children toward a nearby cave. While running, a monstrous centipede appears in their path and eats a child. The boy attacks the centipede with his sword, but it doesn't scratch at the centipede's skin. The centipede comes back and attacks them once more. A brave and selfless child then sacrifices himself and asks the boy to take care of his younger sister in his place. The boy takes the girl to the cave, where she dies due to the centipede's poison. He then returns to the village and finds that everyone has been killed. Several days later, a man named Skeers visits the village and finds the lone survivor boy. He asks him if there's a nearby village, and the boy responds there was one, but it was destroyed by monsters. Skeers then asks what the boy he's doing, and he replies that he's digging a grave for the villagers. The boy falls from exhaustion after digging for several days, and Skeers gives him food. As the two talk, the boy tells Skeers he wants everyone to smile and be happy instead of a pointless war between the two kingdoms. Skeers throws a sword at him, telling him a sword is needed to change the world. He then attacks the boy, making him question Skeers' motives. Skeers' unwavering determination to find the extent of conviction in the boy is what finally convinces him to throw him down with his sword. The boy gets up thinking the old man is just teaching him swordsmanship so he can survive against the monsters. The boy then throws the sword on the ground and asks Skeers to leave him alone. However, this doesn't stop Skeers from trying to force the boy against his will, even going as far as to approach him with murderous intent. Nevertheless, he punches the boy and lets him fall to the ground without hurting him too much. The boy's anger and frustration grow as he picks up the sword and tries to attack Skeers again, but he is once again pushed back. He attacks Skeers again and again, but each time, he's dodged. Suddenly, Skeers attacks back, trying to make the boy understand that he needs to carve his own path, as he gives him a small cut on his face. Skeers further urges the boy and keeps making him angry. The boy, after a long deliberation, finally gives in to Skeers' words and declares to become the next King of Darkness. By saying so, he attacks Skeers this time more swiftly. With his moves, he throws Skeers' sword away. Skeers calls this a miracle. He falls, revealing that he had recently fought the King of Darkness for succession and is on his last breaths. Skeers names the boy the Prince of Darkness and makes him his heir before dying. In the Kingdom of White, the Queen and her men fight the dark monsters in the sky. The Queen asks her advisor to boost their military strength, fearing the King of Darkness could outmatch her. An elf named Valas notices Skeers' sword on the boy, so he asks him to return it. The boy tells him about Skeers' death. Before he finishes talking, Valas gathers dark mana on his sword and attacks him. But he notices the boy is too weak to beat someone as good as Skeers. He wants to know about the boy's motives, to which he replies, "I've glimpsed an ideal that is worth fighting for, which means I have a duty to myself and the world and strive to bring it to reality." Valas is affected by the boy's words, and the boy shouts and declares himself the Prince of Darkness, the successor to the King of Darkness. After hearing the boy, Valas acknowledges him as his lord and takes him to Skeers' mansion. Meanwhile, in the Kingdom of Light, Queen Iris is busy seeking the progenitor rune's protection. Suddenly, a soldier tells them that a monster named Bal is attacking the western capital. The queen leaves for the battle. Shima gathers her mage unit, but Bal attacks and easily kills the western capital's mages before that. Before he kills more soldiers, Queen Iris appears to help. Queen Iris attacks Bal, but he blocks her sword with his hands. She then summons the progenitor rune's power and charges it at Bal. He effortlessly blocks her once again. Bal then murders some soldiers to anger the queen, who throws multiple attacks at him. Soon the difference in the powers becomes evident, and she is forced to use more of Rune's power. However, Alacia tells her about the rune's limited resources. By then, Bal gets bored and leaves. Valas has an audience with the King of Darkness in order to stop Bal from carrying out his evil plans. Valas tells the Prince of Darkness that his loyalty is split between the King of Darkness and him. He gives him books instead of teaching him only fighting. The days pass by, and the Prince of Darkness learns everything at a fast pace. Eventually, Valas starts to notice substantial improvements in him. He then gives him Skeers' clothes from when he was young. Nowhere in the rocks is another potential successor to the throne named Groza. 3 monsters attack her, but she easily turns them to dust with her magic. She brags about her powers, but another monster attacks her. Luckily, the Prince of Darkness steps in and saves her. Groza thanks him profusely and blushes. The Prince of Darkness asks for his leave, but Groza invites him to compete for the Great Sword of Black. The Prince of Darkness along with Groza and Adele flies to the Kingdom of White. And Adele advocates the Prince of Darkness should hide his identity in the enemy country. Adele acts as the envoy to keep the Prince of Darkness's identity a secret. Commander Feos and his guards receive them, but they don't seem too welcoming. Adele tries to calm Phaos through wisdom and ensures peace. After taking their weapons, Phaos delivers the King of Darkness's letter to the Queen. Queen Iris reads the letter and agrees to meet the envoy. Queen Iris's thrilling beauty attracts Prince of Darkness as she enters the palace. Adele asks for an alliance against Baal, who is a threat to both kingdoms. The Queen doubts that the king simply wants to use her. The Prince of Darkness then speaks up, saying that the Queen's concerns might be true only for the current King of Darkness. The Queen asks for some time to think about the King of Darkness proposal. The next morning, Queen Iris agrees to join the alliance when the Prince of Darkness answers her question by saying the alliance will save countless lives. Rosa holds a contest to choose the true owner of the Great Sword of the Black. The wielder is destined to succeed the throne. The Prince of Darkness goes against other contestants in their first trial and they have to defeat the monsters. Everyone easily slays a monster, but a mage who sets a monster to flames struggles and can't burn the monster. The Prince of Darkness saves her from the monster and the others wonder why. Before he can explain himself, a humongous monster appears who is too strong for everyone except the Prince of Darkness. The Prince of Darkness kills the monster with his sword but is attacked by a contestant from behind. Adele, another contestant, stops the assailant. When she sees what's going on, she stops the contest. Adele tells the Prince of Darkness he can't really be a King of Darkness with a soft heart. But he doesn't listen to him and instead says they can settle this with their swords. Rosa resumes the contest and the fight between the two remaining contestants begins. Adele starts by swinging his sword, while the Prince of Darkness blocks it. Adele continues to attack the Prince of Darkness, but the calm Prince of Darkness stays on the defensive and eventually disarms him. Adele picks up his sword again and refuses to give up. However, the Prince of Darkness is more than he can handle and the fight is over. Rosa declares the Prince of Darkness to be the true prince and gives him the Great Sword of the Black. Shortly after, Valas appears and assigns the Prince of Darkness as an envoy to the Queen of White. Queen Iris goes to the Kingdom of the Dark in order to defeat Baal. Baal appears in the Kingdom of the Darkness and Valas with Groza forms a strategy to fight him. Valas attacks Baal, who drives him back easily and destroys his unit. Groza orders her unit to attack Baal, but he's too strong and destroys them. Just then, the King of Darkness appears to fight Baal. The King of Darkness attacks Baal with his dark energy. Baal has trouble with it for a moment. However, he won't stop. Suddenly, the Queen of White appears, who binds Baal with her white chains. This lets the King of Darkness attack and seal him. The Queen returns to White, weakened. She then takes a well-deserved rest in order to fully recover her strength and recuperate. The next morning, the Kingdom of Black sends another ship with a proposal to extend the truce. Queen Iris agrees and then decides to show them the castle. During the extended stay, the Prince of Darkness and Queen Iris grow closer, making Groza and Phaos jealous of their growing bond. King of Darkness summons back the envoy, and it's time for the Prince of Darkness and Adele to leave. However, before they do, Adele gets upset with the Queen and tries to assassinate her. The Prince of Darkness then saves Queen Iris by cutting Adele in half. This creates a situation of unrest, which costs the Prince of Darkness a beating and imprisonment. The Queen is unable to say anything, watching as the Prince of Darkness is captured with a hole in her heart. The Prince of Darkness awakens in a cell. Suddenly, he sees a flash of light through which a white beautiful cat suddenly appears, opening the door of the cell. The cat shows him the way out and turns into a crystal rune with Queen Iris inside it. He hugs her and says he's the real Prince of Darkness. He promises to change the world by becoming the next King of Darkness and saying goodbye to the love he had discovered in the form of Queen Iris. The truce ends and the Queen fights monsters from the Kingdom of Dark and orders her men to strengthen their defenses all over the kingdom. The Prince of Darkness has returned to the Kingdom of Dark and can't enter the palace. He thinks about Queen Iris, who is carrying a lot on her small shoulders. Later, he trains with Valas and questions the world. Just then, Groza comes running with orders from the King of Dark to confront some powerful savage monsters as they are too much for the soldiers to handle on their own. The Prince of Darkness and Groza are easily able to defeat some weak monsters in the area. They go further and see a ship heading for the Kingdom of White. Groza is very concerned about the King of Darkness' recent increase in activity, and believes that he is going to launch an all-out attack against the Kingdom of White soon. Suddenly, some monsters attack them, causing Groza to fall from the cliff. The Prince of Darkness skillfully saves her, and shortly after, a big red monster appears before them, to whom Groza's attacks are futile. The Prince of Darkness sprints toward the monster determined to defeat it. Phaos heads out to find a cure and obtains the Shining Drop to save the Queen. To that point, the monsters have already put the kingdom into chaos. Queen Iris helps Shima make a shield of affection to drive out the monsters but passes out of exhaustion. Back in the Kingdom of Dark, the Prince of Darkness attacks the monster with his sword, but it blocks and drives him back. Anyhow, he ends the monster with his next move. Meanwhile, finally in the castle, Feos and Shima make use of the Shining Drop to recover the Queen's strength. The Prince of Darkness watches a large army heading towards the Kingdom of White and is summoned to the palace. The Queen thinks about the Prince of Darkness's promise and stands in front of the Black Kingdom army to fight a final battle and notices the King of Darkness. And Dark Mana attacks some white soldiers, turning them against their own kind as the battle between the King of Darkness and the Queen of White rages on. The Queen warns the King of Darkness that she can finish him off with Rune's power and attacks him. However, despite the Queen's best efforts, he evades her attack and strikes her down. The Queen uses the Gear of Fate, but nothing changes except the Queen has one last move. The Prince of Darkness goes to the palace and surprisingly finds Adele standing in his path. Adele turns into his devil form and reveals to the Prince of Darkness the King's plan to kill both him and Groza. He then attacks the Prince of Darkness with a dark sphere, which he blocks. They exchange a series of swift but powerful blows, but the Prince of Darkness, with a devastating attack, defeats Adele. The Prince of Darkness heads towards the palace. However, Adele appears yet again, and after inflicting a wound on his shoulder, he finally succeeds in piercing the Prince of Darkness's stomach. However, the Prince of Darkness has not run out of gas yet as he finishes Adele off with his other sword. But it's all according to the King's plan to slow down the Prince of Darkness so he can conquer the Kingdom of White without disruption. The Prince of Darkness is in a hurry to help the Queen, but there is a whole army of monsters to stop him. Luckily, Groza appears and distracts the monsters, letting him focus on his main objective. But there is one last hurdle: he can't get to the Queen without a ship to fly him. Just then, his body glows and a pair of black wings appear on his back. He quickly learns how to use the wings and flies to help Queen Iris. The Queen asks the rune to seal the king away while the Prince of Darkness tries to reach her, defeating many monsters in his way. When the rune shines, the whole kingdom is hit by an earthquake. Noticing the destruction beforehand, Valas withdraws from the fight, and the kingdom starts breaking apart. The Prince of Darkness tries to hold the Queen as she falls away, and the King of Darkness sees the whole Kingdom of White perishing when suddenly the Prince of Darkness attacks him, kills him while sacrificing himself in the process. This is all for this anime. Give the video a like, and I will see you in the next minutes.